Okay, so welcome back to my channel, guys. I really this was an instantaneous decision to make this video. It's Modi ji's third term, and for the first time in this third term, we are hearing the budget and we want to see how are the taxes looking like, what will be the stock market outlook. So I am someone who's not only a YouTuber, I also do stock market trading, I also do mutual funds. I also follow websites like Money Control, ET Markets, and all of this. So I've done thorough research for all of this to collate these points, and I hope they make sense, and I will try to explain them as much as possible. We will be talking in depth about what the budget was about and what the stock market outlook is going to look like. So first, starting from the start, if you want to buy anything, what is usually asked is your budget, right? And usually every expense that you do, it depends on two things. One is the income and the expenditure, which is like how much you earn and how much you are willing to spend. So this is how even the government thinks, and even the government has its own expenses and its own receipts. So let's first talk about that. Let's talk about the government's revenue expenses and the revenue receipts. So how does a government revenue look like? Like what comes under the government's revenue would be the salaries of the employees, the subsidies, and the pension, right? And the same way, we also have the government receipt, which would be the income tax, GST, customs duty, interest, penalties, fees. All of these come under the government receipt. So what was mentioned by the finance minister in the budget was, and these are the actual values which have been mentioned, which is this year's government's revenue receipts were declared as 31 lakh 29,200 crores. Okay. And the revenue plus the capital expenses of the government were declared as 48 lakhs 20,512 crores, right? This is the overall overview on the whole budget. So let's get started to the main part of the video now. So I've made this video into three parts. One will be how the employees are getting affected by the budget, how the economy is affected by the budget, like what places is the budget allocated, and the third part would be the stock market outlook. How is the stock market going to trade? Right. So firstly, coming to part A, we have standard deductions which have been increased from 50,000 to 75,000. So usually there's a standard deduction in the salary which happens every time you start earning, which usually was 50,000. Now it has been increased to 75,000. There's also a deduction on family pension which used to be 15K, but now that deduction has been increased. It's not the family pension that's increased. The deduction has been increased from 15K to 25K, right? Apart from that, so the short-term capital gains, the tax that you get on them has also been increased. For the short-term capital gains, the tax has increased from 15% to 20% now. Same way, the long-term capital gains or tax has been increased to 12.5%. Before it was 10%. So if you were holding a stock, say suppose for a month or 2 months, and you have sold it off, the tax percent that you will get will be 20%, which is the short-term capital gain tax. And if you're holding a stock for more than a year, if you've invested for more than a year, 2 years, whatever, that tax slab has now been increased to 12.5%. Right. Apart from that, I'll also be attaching the tax slabs, and you'll be able to see that the bottom part of the slab is, the same, like nothing has changed over there. But the middle part of the slab is where there are changes. There are a lot of changes. And actually, like a lot of the middle class people have been getting affected by the taxes. However, if you've seen the way this GDP is functioning and the way a major part of the revenue that the country is getting, it is all getting it from the top people, like the top rich people. All these rich people are getting richer, and the poor people are getting poorer, and the middle class people are staying the same. So I don't know if it actually makes sense to, increase the taxes in that middle slab. But yeah, that is how it is. So the same way, the limit of exemption of capital gains, which is also called the LTCG, on your financial assets has been increased from 1 lakh, which it was 1 lakh before. Now it has been increased to 1.25 lakhs. Okay, this is a silver lining where they have increased the taxes, but they have done this to kind of cover up for this part. So example, whatever long-term capital gains you guys used to get up to 1 lakh, for that, like zero tax used to be cut. So now that amount of 1 lakh has that up to amount, up to 1 lakh, uska amount has been changed to 1.25 lakhs. So till 1.25 lakhs, you will have zero tax, which will be cut from the long-term capital gains, right? Apart from that, there is also increased STT rates in futures. If you do future trading, like I do futures and options, so the futures ka STT rates have been increased from 0.0125% to 0.02%. Okay, so that's an increase. And for options, it is increased from 0.625% to 0.1%. Right. So this was only about the employee part of it. So now coming to the economy part of it, I will just be mentioning all the sectors which have been affected by the budget. Okay. And then I'll be talking about more in depth about the stock market part of it, which is the, how it has affected which stocks are being, like which stocks are rising, which ones you want to probably buy in the next week so that you can hold it for a very long term. Right. So the sectors which have been affected, number one is agriculture. There is a lot of productivity and resilience which has been shown in agriculture. The second would be employment and skilling. Third would be inclusive human resources development and social justice. This part has also been allocated a lot of funds from the budget 2024. Then there is manufacturing and services. There is urban development. There is the energy security part. Obviously, you also know about infrastructure. Then there is innovation and research and development, because when the innovation and research development comes, that's how the infrastructure gets, innovated. And for next generation reforms. So these are the 9 particular parts where the budget has been mainly accommodated. But we will now dive deeper into the parts which are affecting the stock market and how the outlook is looking. So, firstly, rural development was the main part of that whole budget. 2.66 lakh crores have been appointed for rural development to enhance the rural infrastructure. So, if you see that particular the rural infra, you want to buy stocks which are building this infrastructure. So you can focus on stocks like L&T, you can focus on stocks like KNR Constructions. Apart from the rural infrastructure, there is also another part which has been talked about, which will kind of even help with enhancing living conditions, other FMCG stocks. The FMCG stocks even have like 1/3 of their revenue, which comes from the rural region. So these stocks would look like probably Britannia, Nestle, ITC. All of these stocks would be the stocks that you want to invest in for the next week. Apart from that, there are also affordable housing solutions which are being done in the rural as well as the urban areas. So in this particular region, you want to buy stocks like HDFC Bank, Canfin Homes. There is also LIC Housing Finance. So all of these stocks would be you want to focus on for the next week, because these are stocks that will highly grow in the next whatever quarter, half, or in the next year basically. So now coming to custom duty, there is a cut in custom duty on gold and silver to around 6%. And apart from that, there's also duty slash on platinum to 6.4%. So when this is happening on gold and silver and on platinum, you want to focus on stocks like Titan, you want to focus on stocks like Kalyan Jewelers, you want to focus on stocks like Senco Gold. So all these are the stocks that you want to focus on when there is a cut on the custom duty which is happening, right? There's also cut in custom duty which has been reduced for mobile phones, PCBA to 15%. And for this, you want to focus on stocks like there is Dixon Tech, there is Amber Enterprises, and stocks like that. Basically, you want to focus on these particular stocks ka industry, right? This will help you, like it will be an industry wise increase, but these are the main stocks in that industry. So you might also want to go into small cap or mid cap stocks, which will obviously grow more than the main stocks which I'm mentioning, right? So part C now, which will be the stock market outlook. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we are going to talk about, which is how the budget has even affected in 2019. If you've seen the budget, if you've seen this date around August 20, this is when the budget is declared. And 2019, you can see 2 long candles, right? And then the market has tried to, wait, let me just enlarge this for you. Yeah. So this is where the budget was declared. And you can see 2 long candles followed by some recovery in the market where the market tried to increase. But obviously, there was a 50 moving average over here and it decreased and it went below. So you can see that there has been a 11% correction over here from here to here. And this is how the market has reacted in the past. But going to our chart now, if you even see our chart now, our chart is not here, okay? It has gone so high. It has gone so high. You can just see it. You can see how much I have to scroll over here to go up. These were all the market predictions that I did, which went as predicted only. and our chart is over here, right? Okay, so as you can see, this is our chart, and this is how the market has been. The market fell a little, but it immediately recovered. So, on the broader outlook, Nifty looks positive, looks good. It's still going to increase because even with the budget, it has been increasing. So, obviously, it looks positive a lot. But let's go to Bank Nifty and check what is the state. Bank Nifty, okay. Bank Nifty was almost about to crash its 50 moving average, and I thought it will crash only. But today, surprisingly, all the markets have gone up, and even the Indian markets have recovered very well from the budget ka loss, जो भी हुआ था. And it has taken support at the 50 moving average and still looks good. But the 100 moving average is way lower, and overall, it looks very positive, even though this is kind of coming down. But I think this is the 20 moving average, right? Yeah, it's the 20 moving average. And you can see that the market is still recovering. It might have a slight bit of correction over here when it hits the 20 moving average, but it'll come down and it'll break out from there. And I think this has been the uh, level to watch out for, which is around 53,300. And the moment it crosses that, it touches 53,500. The moment it crosses 53,500, I think it should be a good breakout for Bank Nifty. But right now, heavy supports on 51,000. To be exact, the precise 50,750, somewhere around there, should be the support. And I think it's still going to go up, but there might be a consolidation in the coming few weeks. And it looks positive. The market looks completely positive, and I also give you the stocks that you guys want to invest in. So yeah, I think that's about it from me. There will be more stock related videos which will be coming up in the future. So do like, comment, share, and subscribe this video. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much if you watched till the end. See you.